All right, so we got some clarity. So apparently, the road that I thought going straight wasn't gonna be the road I needed to go to. Apparently, um, it was. So now we're working with, instead of 6 o'clock, my man said, "Yeah, they should be here around 7." I said, "Boy." So that's definitely pushing it to my 8:15 appointment time. So like I said, maybe they'll go ahead and understand the circumstances and you know do me a solid. Cause this is not planned out like I thought it was gonna plan. This is not working out the way I planned it out in my head yesterday when I stopped at 3 o'clock. I was like, get over here about 4 or 5, get unloaded, park, take me like a 2 or 3 hour nap, get up, strap down, tarp, all that good stuff like that. Now, what would be really good is if I could untarp it now and untarp it now, so that way when it's time for them to unload me, I'll be good to go. The only issue is the freaking it's not a dumpster. It's not a dumpster close by because I had to put some plastic on it, and then me running through the snow yesterday. Yeah, I didn't tell y'all about the snow, man. This is what I'm gonna say. I had two options because I picked this load up in Warren, Ohio. I had two options when I made it to Columbus. I could do the option which is what I did, get in Columbus and take 70 West over to Indy and catch 57, or I could have went down to Columbus and went down 71 to Cincinnati, over to Louisville and did that good and did that. So after yesterday and seeing the snow that I went through, I made the right choice. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was riding and my windshield wiper stopped working. And I said, "Oh my God, not my windshield wipers." And my windshield was literally at the top. It was literally getting like it was literally freezing to the glass. And I'm like, my visibility is starting to diminish at such a rapid pace. So I'm laughing now because I can look back on it because I know what's wrong with the windshield wiper now. So I pulled into a truck stop. So I get my Rain-X out. I had some McGuire's glass cleaner. I get all that out. I spray the windshield down. I got my defrost on 4 wide open. So it's making the ice like melt. And so I'm looking at my windshield wiper and I'm looking at it like it's trying to move, but it it can't move. So then all of a sudden it started bad working. I said, thank God. Then they stop again. I said, man, what's going on, man? So I had already called a Freightliner place. Me being always overthinking things, always going to parts when it could just be something, minuscule. So I had already priced a windshield wiper motor for like 100. So I told the guy, I said, well, I could probably slide through and get it on Friday. So in the midst of me driving, after I get out of the blizzard that I rode through, because let me not say it's a blizzard because that may be disrespectful to people that have actually gone through a blizzard. But for somebody from Mississippi, I drove through a blizzard yesterday. What I realized is that my passenger side windshield wiper, for all intents and purposes, and I have to replace it, but it was bent. And it was bent so to the point that it wasn't allowing for it to actually catch. And then like maybe it would like break free and then the catch and start working. So I noticed it. I was like, oh, okay, so it's bent. So I'll just get a replacement blade if the rod itself isn't bent, which I don't think the rod itself is bent. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's just the blade itself is bent. So it's like it's sideways. So like the actual thing that knocks the water off, that little blade, it's not actually on the windshield. It's actually almost like on the metal part because it's bent. So I said, oh, okay, so that's the issue right there. So I said, well, let me turn this. When they started back working again, I said, let me get them in a position to where they, where they need to be, because by me, leaving it on, I could hear the motor humming. And I said, well, I don't want to burn the motor up because, the windshield wiper is bent, so it won't, even if I already got the motor, I would have still had to fix that issue because I'd have been like, dang, I got a new motor and the windshield wiper still not working right. But I do think I do need, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't really know how long it has been bent because, like, it's never happened before. It's always, yesterday was the first day it happened, and I was just chalking it up to how cold it was. But I was telling the guy, I said, what happens with my windshield wipers is that, and again, looking back on it now, maybe because the blade was bent, but like I don't have all three functions. I didn't have the function to use low and intermediate. Like if I use those two functions, it'll move for a minute and then it'll stop. And so I had to turn it wide open to get the windshield wipers to work. So maybe I'll see when I trade these blades out, which I was trying to trade them out a couple months ago, but I went and got some of the Rain-X blades, the kind of thicker looking ones, and I was thinking I could get them to fit on here, but I'm like, but they won't fit, so I have to get like the regular ones to fit on here. So I just run by and get them, and then I'll run through the three functions or whatnot like that and see how that goes. So I don't really know, but yeah, that was the most impromptu time for something like that to happen. But like I said, luckily I had some Rain-X and I had that McGuire's glass cleaner, because that would have been, man, that would have been a mess. And because I was thinking about it, I said, man, if they don't work, I said I might just try to stop at a truck stop and just try to, wait it out until it passes over. But, luckily, they, like I said, they started back working, and the Rain-X was making it, somewhat, along with the defrost, was making it somewhat go ahead and melt. So it'll build up, and then you'll just see it just kind of like a big chunk of it, you'll just see it fall off. And so, like I said, I ran out of it, and once I got to Missouri, over there, coming, running into 55, I was out of it. So it was the sun, the sun was out. So by that time, everything was starting to melt. So anything that had built up on my bumper was coming up, slapping the windshield, and going off like that. So I made it through that. But that was a real scary experience, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't driven this. I've only driven in snow, honestly. I've driven in snow. Yesterday was my third time, but I really don't count the first time me driving in snow, because I didn't really look at it like, oh, I'm in snow, because it had already snowed. So the only thing I was necessarily worried about was, the road itself, like the road itself being slick. And so I never forget, I had left the terminal. I was still at TMC. I left the terminal, right, because I was going to, I don't know where I was going. I think I was going to some part of Nebraska or something. Excuse me if my geography is off because I haven't been up there in so long. But I want to say I was going somewhere in Nebraska or somewhere like that to pick up something. Or maybe I had our. No, no, no. I take it back. Because I left there on a weekend because that's when I had swapped trucks. So I think I had a load and I was taking it over there. So I got to the truck stop and, punched out the code in and then it didn't come up at the gas pump. And so I called, uh, roadside and told him, I said, hey, my fuel card isn't working. And he's like, oh, okay, well, we don't have that truck in the system yet. So just give me 30 minutes and we'll add it on. So I was like, cool. So then I get another phone call from like safety, like weekend. And they was like, where are you now? And I told him where I was at. And he's like, oh, you weren't supposed to leave the terminal. Like the head safety guy said that nobody was supposed to leave the terminal due to the snow. And I was like, I don't have a message on my Qualcomm. Nobody called me. Nobody notified me prior to me leaving that I wasn't supposed to leave. I'm gone now. So we got that little ordeal straightened out. And so, man, I pulled out of the truck stop and I'm coming up to the stop sign. And so I'm in an automatic now. I was in an automatic. I went up to automatic. And so I hit the brake and the truck just slid. But luckily, I had already started the stopping and slowing down process further enough back to where by the time the truck stopped sliding, I was actually it actually came to a rest at the actual stop sign. So I said, okay, thank goodness. So that was my first time driving in snow. And my second time, I was west of Pittsburgh. I had stopped at a Walmart to get like some groceries, and because the Walmart had truck parking, and I remember like shooting a video to send it to my wife, and I was like, man, like the snow is like they had like a pile of snow, like it was taller than me. And so when I got in the store, one of the ladies was like, are you staying for the night? I was like, no, no, ma'am, I'm getting out of here. She was like, okay, that's good because it's supposed to be getting bad a little bit later around like noontime or something. I'm like, yeah, I'll be long gone by then. And so I'm coming down whatever the interstate was, and like we couldn't ride in the left lane. Like so we just had to ride in the right lane. And yesterday was somewhat reminiscent of that. Like once I got in between like Effingham and like Mount Vernon, like it was real reminiscent of that, you know. But you got some drivers out here, they trust their truck, they trust their driving ability. So, I was cruising about, what was I at? I was about at 60. Yeah, I was running about 60, 62, like that. And guys running by me. I was on the phone with my partners and I told them, I said, man, this is the perfect setup. I wish I had a setup like this all the time. I was probably about 12 to 13 truck links behind the truck that was in front of me. And then the truck that was behind me, he was probably right at about the same distance as well. So I was just like, man, it don't get no better than this right here. So if I have to stop, he's further enough back to where he can stop. If the truck in front of me has to come to a stop, I'm further enough behind him to where I can stop. I can see his lights and stuff like that. So, it's a real good situation like that. But I don't know why this vehicle is behind me. I don't know. It ain't 7. Man, I wish I could take me a nap right now, man. I promise I do. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit my log, so because I'll probably end up being like at this spot for 2 hours, so I edit my log. So in the event that I need to split log, I got it in my back pocket. But I don't think I should have to split log. But if I do have to do it, at least I know I have it in my back pocket. But
Damn, won't you just put them lights on bright?
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I'll get back with y'all, man.